Hello and welcome to the Student StarCraft AI Tournament Weekly Broadcast. This is Nightcat and I will be your host for today. So today we're going to be continuing to work through some of the recommended games up on the SSCAIT Discord, and starting off we have a human vs AI game. We've got Monster, the AI, spawning as the blue Zerg up at the top left of Circuit Breakers, going up against Samu down at the bottom left of the map as the orange Terran. So I'm excited to see. I don't remember if I've seen this human play before, so it'll be exciting to see what they go with. And already you can see the building placement of the human here is not something that AI typically does, so it's just kind of interesting to note. The two workers there are going to say hi. So Monster with the very early drone scout, which, okay, so it does look like it went for, I believe, a 12 hatchery here at the expansion. And both players are going to scout each other first, and now the spawning pool goes down. So Samu should be able to deduce that this was in fact a 12 hatchery. And let's see here. Samu, it looks like, going for the 1 racks fast expand, saw the 12 hatchery and decided that they could go ahead and get their command center down without even creating a marine. Still no marine under production yet, because there's no real worry about Zerglings coming to cause a problem. Now the first marine has just finished as the Zerglings just start. So one thing I noticed that Monster did not do, that you'll often see players do, is save their larva, so that way when the spawning pool finishes, they can go ahead and just get a full round of 3 larva into Zerglings, which would go ahead and give you 6 Zerglings. Nice split there on the transfer by Samu. And now we've got the Zergling that's parked out here outside of the natural to watch for any movement out. We do have the lair under construction now for Monster. I'm looking for if Monster's going to be taking a third. The second gas is being established. Now we do have the creep colonies going under construction. I'm going to wait or watch and see if those become sunken colonies right away, or if those chill out as creep colonies. As I like to say when I watch these TVZs, you really should keep these as creep colonies until the Terran starts to push towards your base, and that's when you want to go ahead and morph them. Now we do have the Spire coming down, so we will see Mutalisk pressure here from Monster. We don't have an engineering bay. We do have the engineering bay. We are getting the +1 attack. Don't see turrets yet, but it may not quite be the timing for them just yet. And there goes the scan. So now Samu knows that this is indeed a Mutalisk first build. The turrets are under construction now, so there we go. Pretty well timed. You could say maybe a little bit early, but it's good enough timed, I think. I just remember that the tighter that you can get your turrets up before, compared to when the Mutalisks arrive. And I like this, moving out with your M&M force, forcing the creep colonies to morph into Sunkens, and also maybe forcing the Mutalisks here. Nice turret placement. The Mutalisks trying to find a way in, instead finding the turrets, and then the third getting caught with no defenses as the Mutalisks were out and about and not at home defending. So unfortunate there for Monster to lose that third, but should not be able to lose the second just yet. Finds a spot though that's unprotected. Nice Mutalisk ball there. Maybe there's 14 Mutalisks on the map. I don't think that's every single Mutalisk there, as there are a few here now just joining up. But that is a very large ball. Lost a few workers there. Worker count is about even. And now these Marines getting caught by the Mutalisk ball, trying to go over to take out this third, but not going to be able to. The Mutalisk numbers are just enough to handle up, or to clean up that M&M force there. And also seeing that Marine is there, going ahead and cleaning that up as well. And now Samu trying to move out again with another force, but having to stim there, trying to catch the Mutalisks and using the scan there so that way they can't abuse this high ground on this M&M force. But the M&M force getting a bit spread out here, and just too many Mutalisks able to practically one-shot 2 Marines. Like, even the bounce kills like the second Marine. So Monster are able to clean up that force pretty well here. Although the Terran is teching, it's got its 2 starports. He's got a science facility started here, so science vessels should be out pretty soon. The Mutalisk's not quite able to do anything here. Pretty nice turret placement. This turret would be hard to get good repairs on, though. So these turrets over on the left could probably be picked off by the Mutalisks if they wanted to engage with it. But it looks like they really just want to hit this gas. And so that's kind of what they're focusing on and causing a little bit of strange behavior there. But now that the Marines are trying to move out again, we've got Monster moving the Mutalisks out here. I'm just trying to kind of follow the ball here as it dances around those Marines. And then will it find the gap down here again? It looks like it does find the bottom here. Meanwhile, Samu's army was moving up now over to the right because there is an expansion that just started there at the top right. We do have the science facility coming down here. Looks like we're maybe going to get an irradiate off. Maybe not quite. The Mutalisks do dip out just in time. Now Samu going to go ahead and clean this up. This left middle base here having been established by Monster. Samu not feeling comfortable enough to take it out. And now Monster trying to save this expansion. Meanwhile, the production tab for Monster is out of control here. Let's see, we do have a hive. We are on 3 bases, but we don't have any hive tech at the moment, so perhaps trying to get that 4th base up before doing so. And now, cute little, oh, because there's another expansion down here, so Monster really just trying to expand wherever it can all over the map. And now we have some Scourge out with the Mutalisks here. That small M&M force not quite able to take that out, but we do have quite a number of science vessels here. Being a bit exposed with how they're moving out there. The Scourge not quite diving in. And the immediate pullout of the irradiated Mutalisk, but that will help cut the numbers down. That's 5 Mutalisks now down. We're at 23 Mutalisks. Still a large number of them here. And now Monster trying to deny the expansion of Samu here. Did snipe the worker, but a new one is now out and working on the command center. And oh, the Scourge separating out. 2 of the science vessels go down. The Mutalisks here, still pretty decent number of them, 24. But now more reinforcements arrive, more irradiates dropping. Good irradiates there by Samu. But another science vessel gets picked off by the Scourge, but we're still up to 4. And now the push into the natural takes out the bunker, going ahead and trying to put the bunker back up here. So able to take the bunker down, but not quite crack that natural. Pretty cool fight there. Now we've got a transfer going on to the 3rd, but it is a bit exposed at the moment. And oh, all of the science vessels go down. There's just 2 new ones that came out. Nice play there by Monster, finding those science vessels out of position unprotected. And the splitting of the Scourge. And now that the Marines have come down into the 3rd, the Zerglings are moving into the natural, so we have a bit of the army working in 2 different groups here. We've got the Mutalisks that lured the army into this mineral only, while then the Zerglings were free to go into the natural. But the Mutalisk count, I feel, is still very high. We're at 33. Like, we're hearing Mutalisks die, but the count is still pretty large. What are the upgrades at here? Whoops, if I could get to the upgrades. They're at 3-2, or 2-3, so 2 attack, 3 armor. So these are some pretty tough Mutalisks here. And I love how it's able to just pull out the irradiated Mutalisk and just minimize the damage as much as possible. Now we do have turrets coming down here to protect. Monster's really going to need... I don't know what's happening there. That might be the healing cloud where the Mutalisks are going to heal in order to heal. Now we do have a push coming from Samu here up into the bottom right expansion. I don't know, I think it actually, yeah, this should be enough to clear this up, but the Mutalisk Cloud might be able to do some work here to protect this expansion. I've got more creep colonies coming down. I've been just a little too much here for the Mutalisks alone to take it out. Gonna go ahead and let that fall, and then there was an attempt to backstab here, but there are enough reinforcements. There are plenty of barracks here pumping out Marines. So Samu should be okay here. Although this is the main Mutalisk Cloud here, taking out a few Marines, but in the end able to hold this mineral only. which Smooth desperately needs to keep alive as the other two bases are mined out. So we're looking to see if they can take a fourth base here pretty soon. And I'm not quite sure what that force was doing, but it got caught out of position. The Mutalisk's able to clean that up. Now moving over again. There was a bird zergling there blocking the expansion. The irradiate on the Mutalisks. This is probably the longest you'll see a Zerg. Okay, we do have Ultralisks now. I was gonna say sit on Mutalisks without getting that hive tech while having expansions. So we do have the Mutalisks out and playing out, and now Smooth trying to take this base. Desperately needs it, as this mineral only is not producing enough minerals fast enough. And now we do have the Ultralisks diving in here, although wasn't able to do much because it kind of got held up by the Zerglings. So as a Terran, you might put your medics in front of your Marines to sort of shield them from the Ultralisk, but in this case it was the Zerglings, and then just being indecisive with the Ultralisk that it had there, taking extra hits that it did not need. Now, something I'm noticing too is that Monster, so we've seen one Ultralisk, and Monster's at like almost 200 supply constantly here. I wonder if that is a problem for Monster, where it's just not able to tech switch because its supply is so high, but it is heavily sticking with the Mutalisks here. No Defiler play, it looks like, but these Mutalisks are putting in some work. I will say, AI Mutalisk Cloud, very, very scary. So let's see, we do have Queens out in play, it looks like. Not sure, there's just one of them. And we do have a push into this mid-left base here finally, but it is pretty low on minerals. Sniping of the science vessels happening here. I don't know if Smooth will be able to replace all of those science vessels. We do have two new ones that popped out, but yep, there's the dive into them. And it looks like that is the game with Smooth, giving the GG to Monster. Very exciting game there. Very good effort by Smooth. But that Mutalisk cloud of Monsters is just very, very deadly. Let's go ahead and hop into the next game. And for our second game today, we have an AI versus AI matchup here on La Mancha. We have Purple Wave spawning as the blue Protoss up at the top right, and Hao Pan spawning as the purple Terran down at the bottom left. It was a little tricky for me to spot him on the minimap here. So that does not bode well for me, because I cannot see that color on the minimap. But looks like we have Purple Wave here tossing out his first pylon up at the expansion there, and now we've got Hao Pan going ahead and throwing down its barracks, getting its gas. Should see a supply depot soon, I believe. We've got the 100 minerals. We're at 10 of 10. I guess we're going command center. Okay. Is that what we're doing? Where's... There's the supply depot and factory. Okay. Interesting choice there to keep itself on the 10 workers until... Now we're getting a second factory. So I'm wondering if this is like a special rush build. It's been a little while since I've seen a game from Hao Pan. Now we do have a Zealot coming out here, but I think we might be able to, if this... Oh, okay, so the first Zealot is already out, and now in the main, the Vulture is under construction. Looks like this Zealot wants to get this SCV, but the SCV was able to kind of squeak around there. And now able to fend off that Zealot. Hao Pan is safe for the time being. Should be able to take out the Zealots, and really shouldn't be able to get enough Dragoons just yet to be able to march in there and take it out. Looks like Purple Wave looking to take his natural base here. Gonna go ahead and throw down the Nexus. And now Hao Pan has found where Purple Wave is. Gonna go ahead and pick off this poor Zealot. He's like, I just want to stand... Oh, and then more come in and kill me. Okay. And I do like the little broken vulture here. It is part of the terrain of the Protoss base. But these, now if Halpon wanted to, probably could dive in to the main to pick off probes. I don't know that it's worth it. Most likely not, so I agree with what Halpon's just kind of doing here. Although taking some unnecessary shots here. Probably gonna lose some of these guys. We'll just kind of monitor the health of them. Some of them are starting to get red here. I don't think we have Spider-Mines quite yet. Yep, they are under construction, so gonna lose that Spider-Mine potential if some of these die. Purple Wave getting the Dark Templar. Now we do have our Spider-Mines getting laid here. Although I think we have lost a couple of vultures. Yep, and oh, 3 Dragoons go down, but I almost feel like the Dragoons might be like sacrificing themselves here for the sake of the Dark Templar. And oh, the Dark Templar getting caught by the Spider Mines there. Halpon's like, I don't need detection. I've got Spider Mines. That's all I need. It's a very nice play there by Halpon to take those out with the Spider Mines. Meanwhile, back behind this, Halpon not expanding, actually not getting anything at the moment. So it looks like we're just going with the these vultures and spider mines here. Oh, okay, now we are getting our command center, so it looks like we probably stopped producing in order to save up the minerals to take our expansion. And now Purple Wave doing another attempt to come out here. No! That Dark Templar getting caught there by 3 spider mines. Pretty painful to see. I wonder if this is purposefully kind of clogging up the natural choke there just to make it smaller, make it harder for these vultures to want to run by. And I think these are still slow vultures. Yeah, we don't have vulture speed yet. So really, and we do, it looks like we're catching some probes here that seem to be, I think Purple Wave wants to take a third, keeps sending out a probe, but it keeps getting caught, and more DTs getting caught by the things there. And I was just about to say, no production was visible for a moment there from Purple Wave, and a lot of minerals built up, and then just all of a sudden a ton of production just came up into the queue. So Purple Wave really trying to take its third, but now it's got vultures in the natural, forced to pull all of the probes back to the main. Able to clean it up though, and now the probes coming back into the natural, and love watching that split that an AI can do there, where they all go to their assigned minerals. Now slowly pushing out, but just sacrificing units to try and gain some ground, and then just not able to work all the way through the mine line. Now we do, whoops, have the expansion here. Since I've moved it, we'll go ahead and move it down to the bottom here. Come on. Okay, gotta move you here, and then here, there, that'll work for now. So, Purple Wave finally able to get a third established, getting arbiters. We are seeing Halpon Tech to, let's see, we've got our starport, we're getting our control tower, I believe it is called. And now I hear fighting. I'm not quite sure where the fighting is. Up here we go. It's really hard for some reason right now for me to see the purple on the minimap. But now the arbiters are out, but they're still science vessels. Or not science vessels, sorry, mines. But they were spread out enough that able to clear out quite a number of them with only losing 1 Dragoon there. And then cleaning up the tanks and slowly pushing across the map now. We do have stasis. So we may see that get deployed. Still kind of cleaning up some of the mines here. Halpon still trying to leave some mines behind. Halpon idling a few workers, which is a bit interesting to see. And from the notes in the Discord where this was recommended, it sounded like somebody thought that this game had desynced. I believe probably because of the idle workers here, but it does not look like a desynced game. As usually when a game desyncs, all new units are going to start, including new army units, are going to start idling, and that does not appear to be the case. And also all of Purple Wave's workers are going as well, we'll see this new probe that pops out and immediately begins to gather minerals. So we did have a little bit of pressure there. Purple Wave able to clean it up. Still not quite able to push, though, to Halpan's natural. Halpan now sieging up. And what we see, we do see the stasis. We saw an EMP as well, but the EMP was just a little bit late. Stasis able to get off here. So these tanks just kind of waiting until, Fry from Futurama just kind of stuck there until that stasis is done. And we'll see. I'm also trying to see if anyone else is expanding as well. We're pretty far into this game. Up there is a command center down, but where is Halpan building it? Up, okay, all the way at the bottom left. So going ahead and taking the other main instead of just taking this base here, which would be a little bit easier to defend as Terran, because typically your while your vultures are very mobile, your tanks typically are not that mobile and not that quick to respond to an assault. But Purple Wave's not really able to get to that side of the map, so that still might be a safe move. A nice EMP there, hitting both of the Arbiters there. So Halpan not quite able to push into the natural, but Purple Wave also not quite able to push this down. And both AIs have just been very low on supply, but Halpan is keeping himself about double of Purple Waves, which is one of the things that you want to do as a Terran. You want your supply to be larger, or at the very worst equal. You do not want the Protoss to be above in supply. That all kind of goes out the window once you both hit 200. But typically when you're not at that point yet, you want to be higher up. I do hear, okay, there is a Cloaked Wraith causing some problems for the probes here, but now it's run out of energy and going to go ahead and get picked off by the Dragoons. More mines causing problems here for Purple Wave. We do have Observer out on the field, though. Just taking a look at the army count. Not a large army for Purple Wave. We've got 3 Arbiters, 4 Dragoons. I'm thinking we just don't have the income to support the number of gates that we have. With our constant engagement here, this upper left base here, though, is able to be kept alive. Vultures trying to dive in with no tank support, which is interesting. And now we do have some Dragoons here kind of pushing back, but not quite able to do so. These probes trying to transfer, but there are a few Vultures in the way. Gonna be forced to fall back, but fair number of probes being picked off here. Purple Wave down to 30 workers. Halpan up to 80. These Dragoons that are pushing back, but not able to get too far. This is about on average how far Purple Wave is able to push the tank and minefield back. These probes really want to get over to that top left base and are just kind of beating the kill count of these units over here. There is a Goliath in the mix now, getting some probe kills. So not what you want to see as Purple Wave. But this mining base still alive, able to replace those lost probes. But Purple Wave only at 1 mining base, spending all of its money on army that it keeps losing, along with probes that it keeps losing. So it's essentially just hemorrhaging minerals. Upon finally able to get the tanks up to the choke of the natural here, but gonna be repelled back at least one more time. The strength of the army not quite there for Halpan. Nice stasis there up on the bridge at the top left. That's going to actually clog that bridge up and not allow units to, the units that were not stasis to engage in the fight for now. We do have a Cloaked Wraith. Took a few shots off on the Arbiters, but... and the stasis units being forced to move here due to stacking issues. It always amuses me when a stasis unit has to move. A stasis there catching just a tank and a Wraith. Perhaps could have caught a bit more, but the units were a bit spread there, so nice play by Halpan. And again, Purple Wave pushing that push back to about this spot, but then not able to move out further. Just does not have the income, really, to outproduce at this point. Halpan has taken the natural over here now. So essentially two mining bases for Haopan. But Haopan not quite able to seal the deal here just yet, leaving a lot of workers just idling by there in the main and in the natural. I would like to see those workers get transferred. So while there are 80 workers for Haopan, there are not 80 workers mining in this natural here. Only 2 workers at it. Another stasis clogging up the ramp here, giving Purple Wave some time to not worry about any units from that direction. I'm not exactly sure how these units have got to this side. I think that's actually part of what is giving Purple Wave so much trouble, is you've got army that keeps coming from here and army that keeps coming from here. You're basically getting pincer attacked here. And you're only fighting with maybe 1 to 2 waves worth of your units popping out. Instead of trying to wait until you have a stronger army, you're just immediately trying to push this out of your face. Purple Wave really needs to be waiting for that larger army to spawn. So that way it can actually push this out. But yeah, so only having the strength to get to about here, while Haopan has the strength to then push back. But Purple Wave supply really down low here now, 54, 50, while Haopan is up to 140. So I think in the end here, we're going to see this for Haopan. I'm going to go ahead and speed it up to 4x here. I'll drop back down to 2x here. This Purple Wave is able to get it to back here, but then just doesn't have the strength to push it out. Maybe we'll see an expansion from Purple Wave here. It looks like it did. It either took this and lost it or tried to take it, because there is an assimilator here. And the vultures are really causing some trouble here. Purple Wave doesn't quite have the money, but what it could really use is some production over on this side, so that way it doesn't have to push out of here to protect that left side. Looks like, so pulling back, destroying one of its own mines, it looks like it might be taking this base then next. But it is floating a lot of workers that are not transferring, unfortunately. Also floating a lot of gas right now. Only working out of 3 factories. Oh, no, okay, there's 6. Okay, there's some factories over here. And the Dragoon's trying to deal with this Vulture Force, but I think the Vulture Force, the reason why it's on that side is because I think these factories are the ones that are typically producing Vultures, maybe not. But yeah, it seems, I think what gets produced on this side comes up with this push, and then what gets produced on this side ends up joining with this army, which is kind of interesting the way that this, I think, is messing with Purple Wave, where Purple Wave's just essentially getting pincer attacked, like I said before, and then this drone trying to make its way over, not quite able to. We do have an Arbiter floating here, so the Vultures are back a bit more, but just not quite able to handle that. It's like both AIs are not quite able to build up the strength that they need due to various reasons. So Haopan's reason, it seems like, is all of these idle workers that it has. It's not taking any additional bases. It might mine out before Purple Wave does. Nah, Purple Wave is going to mine out first. It's only got these 3 minerals here, but in a way, some ways this feels so silly, because it's like, what are these AI at this point in the game for long distance mining now? I like that. That's cute. Haopan should be able to just build up a strong enough army to take Purple Wave out at some point here. Now we do have more units into the natural here. So I think what's caused this is that Purple Wave saved up for, it looked like a Nexus somewhere, and then it lost the 400 minerals. But maybe the Nexus got destroyed immediately before it could even be canceled and refunded. But yeah, Purple Wave out of money, that's going to be it. So, interesting game to see there. Purple Wave kind of just getting caught up and constantly battling and throwing its money into army units but because it never really built up a sizable army, it was like just enough to kind of push the pressure back until the next wave from Haupan would come in. Pretty fun, entertaining game though. And we'll call that one for Haupan, and we will go ahead and jump into the next game. And for our final game today, we have another one starring Purple Wave, but this time we are on Circuit Breakers. We have Microwave spawning as the white Zerg down at the bottom right of the map, and Purple Wave spawning as the purple Protoss up at the top right of the map. So similar positions, different map. Purple Wave getting the distinct color after which it is named. And so Microwave here going for a 9 pull, it looks like. And going ahead and scouting with its drone. Purple Wave going to go ahead and find Microwave here. And I was just seeing if it was, pardon me, going to be looking for any proxies or anything like that. Looks like it just went straight for the base. Gonna have to readjust this production because I accidentally moved a little bit. There we go. And we do have the gas now. We are getting our Ling speed. Purple Wave going for a Forge Fast Expand. The scouting probe got caught by the Zerglings, and I don't know if I really agree with pulling all of those probes to try and protect those cannons this early. Now, the Zerglings would have been at the base already, but look, the minerals are so low. Like your Nexus should be started already, I feel. And okay, these are pretty committing Zerglings, so maybe I'll eat my words there on that. And the probes were a good idea, but it feels like that was an excessive amount of probes for so early on, really hurting the income for Purple Wave. But I suppose the number of Zerglings being produced also kind of forcing that on Purple Wave. So Purple Wave did have to get the gateway. So still no expansion yet. So it looks like we are doing our Forge first and our cannons and not expanding, but sort of being forced into this by the production of Microwave. Now Microwave back here is getting the Hydralisk done next. So I suspect that we may see an attempt at a Hydralisk bust or something like that. Another little poke in with the Zerglings. Now we have some Zealots out. So not quite engaging the best that they could, losing one Zealot, but to take out a few of the Zerglings, and a number of these Zerglings are pretty hurt, so not really going to be able to poke in all that much. Now the probes pulling back fully, finally. Another cannon. No, that's a pylon. Okay, I was going to say another cannon, but then I looked at the production tab and realized, like, that's kind of far. I don't think a pylon could support that. Gonna go ahead and push out now with the Zealots. But I don't think they're really going to be able to do much here. There is a sunken colony. We do have our Hydralisk production out now. So these Zealots should get pushed back here. Nice little micro there by Microwave to pull back the hurt Hydralisk. But hopefully they don't go into the cannons just yet, because, yeah, there's just going to be too much there. A lot of cannons, though, now for Purple Wave. I think Purple Wave, seeing these Hydralisk, is suspicious, thinking, you might try to break my front. Interesting movement around the bridges there, almost like it was an attempt to sort of come at it at a wide angle, get like an arc of sorts, even though these are melee units. But instead of approaching on a conga line, that would be better. But now they're all just going across the same bridge, so perhaps that was just a little pathing thing that happened there. Feeling confident, moving out with the Zealot force. Meanwhile, finally taking its natural. And now we're going ahead and pulling back. The Hydralisk numbers have grown a little bit here. We have 12 Hydralisks on the field to 12 Zealots. So this back and forth causing a few problems here and there, but in the end, very nice line of zealots there for Purple Wave, and that Overlord getting caught, coming down. Seeing this natural here, and pardon me, I am not bored or tired. It's just one of those things where when I'm talking a lot and not breathing right, my body is like, you will now yawn. So Microwave behind this is taking has taken a third base, getting that base established. Looks like we are getting our lair, or yeah, we're getting our lair now finally at the natural, it looks like. It's Purple Wave now with a couple Dragoons trying to push these Hydralisks back a bit. The Hydralisk army is slowly growing. We're up to 22 Hydralisks at this point. We've got another, is it a macro? Yep, a macro hatchery in the main. Completing up here. Purple Wave floating a lot of minerals, but not a lot of gas. Now that little push was able to get a probe out to take this the main here up at the top left. Now feeling confident enough to push this Hydralisk army back all the way to the Sunkens, losing a few in the retreat. The lair is finished here. But now these Hydralisks with the Sunkens should be able to repel this attack by Purple Wave. Reinforcements coming in from the main, forcing the Dragoons back. The Dragoons getting tied up though, because there were a couple of Zerglings there in the back. But in the end, able to clean that up. Lost a few more than Purple Wave might have liked though. It looks like we do have shuttles under construction, so I'm thinking we might see some shuttle Reaver. But now this army being pushed back, losing a lot of the Dragoons. Going to have to replace this, and really doesn't have a lot of gas. But able to keep the Zerg army from pushing it back too far with the reinforcements that just arrived, the fresh Protoss army. But now struggling a little bit with this bridge again, losing a few more units. The mineral only being taken by Microwave here. What are our upgrades at? Let's see. We are a lot of different various upgrades for the Zerg. We are at 1-1 right now for the Hydralisks. We're getting our level 2 upgrades right now. That's a lot of Dragoons. We're producing a lot of Hydralisks here. We might need to replace some of those Sunkens we've lost, but yeah, that Dragoon army just not able to push in yet. But Purple Wave has a lot of breathing room right now, but is pumping all of its money. Interesting that the observatory's there. I'm wondering what this probe here is trying to do. Yeah, Purple Wave able to push back into this natural again, but not really able to push much further. The drones just freely drifting by the army there because they're a little bit busy with all these Hydralisks. And really, Microwave looking to be in a bit of a comfortable position here. It has the army to keep Purple Wave at bay for right now. Purple Wave is investing all of its money. Okay, no, it did go ahead and get an expansion here, so expanding behind the attack. That's what I was hoping to see when I was looking at Purple Wave was so low on money. I'm like, oh, it's spending everything on production and attacking. Like, you need to take this opportunity to expand. But now the quirk has been lifted off of the Zerg's choke point and kind of exploding out onto the map now, but only pushing into the natural here. I don't know if Microwave is aware of these expansions over here. Microwave really could just send a few up. Maybe gonna find this here now. There is a Hydralisk kind of exploring, not going to the right bases though, so not seeing the expansions here just yet. Up now we have found it, so I'm wondering how Microwave's army is going to respond. Though it is engaging here currently. There is a Dark Templar, 2 Dark Templar now getting some free shots and kills as there are no Overlords over here to protect. I don't know if we... Okay, we do have speed now. The Overlord is here and the Dark Templar getting caught here. But now we do have the Storms and all of the Hydralisk blood just being spilled by the Storms. Microwave doesn't quite have the immediate spreading, although pretty good avoidance there on the bridge, and the production lines of these 2 AI just tremendously long. Microwave is aware of the base over here. but still just pushing into this natural, but that is kind of where the immediate army is. Also try to watch and see we do have Mutalisks now coming down. The Spire almost finished for Microwave, just finished now, so maybe we'll start to see some expanding toward the Protoss, which is an interesting choice, but there are a couple of other expansions that have, or another expansion that has gone down. Now the army coming over here to this expansion, Purple Wave abandoning it, pulling back into the main here. Nice cannon set up there at that bottom middle left. So it's interesting to me how Purple Wave has chosen to leave these bases alone and sort of operate out of two mains, but now Microwave's army getting caught in the middle, not engaging, just kind of running through Purple Wave's army, taking a few losses, but not too many in the end. I thought that was going to play out a bit worse for Microwave than it did. Now we've kind of got fights on two fronts here. One at the natural with a really small force from Purple Wave. There's another one just over here kind of engaging, but has now backed off. Purple Wave trying to take this bottom left main here while Microwave has expanded to the natural of it. Kind of funny to see. Purple Wave preferring that main and natural. And now just look at that production line of Zerg. It was like all the way out to here. Just crazy, crazy macro happening in these games. Now this mid-right base kind of getting caught. The Mutalisks trying to save it. Going to fall though to the Dark Templar and Zealots. We've got some more Archons out on the field in terms of upgrade. The Zerg is finishing up its 3-3 upgrades for the ground army. Meanwhile, Protoss is at 3-1, getting its level 2 upgrade. We do have Guardians out now for the Zerg. We've got 4 of them. Purple Wave putting on some pressure to this lower left side. Actually was able to keep this bottom left main alive. Just sort of sweeping in and cleaning expansions up, which is really going to hurt Microwave here if it's not able to save these expansions. Down to 14 workers after that base cleanup there. The main is mined out. It's looking like this has very much swung for Purple Wave at this point. So man, what a game though. So fun. Microwave really just not quite able to do it. Purple Wave taking over the map. Well played by Purple Wave to just kind of have just enough until that point where it just tipped over in its favor, cleaning up the expansions. GG, well played. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Apologize for a little bit of a shorter cast this week. Next week, I believe we'll be Chobos Wagons casting some more recommended games from you all in the SSCAIT Discord. There will be a link below if you want to join, where a good number of the AI authors hang out and chat, as well as where you can recommend games. If you see an exciting human versus AI or AI versus AI game that you would like to see casted, you can post it there. There's a good chance that it will make an appearance in one of these weekly casts. So until next time, stay safe everyone. Take care.